Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. We're going to talk about 9 lies, not lives, but 9 lies we were told about retirement. We've either heard them for years or we found out to be true or untrue. And one of the first lies that I kind of fell prey to, and that was our health will always be good. Well, that's not the case. We know that. I was healthy up until about 60, 61, then I started experiencing some health problems. And actually, when I was 60, I fully expected to be very, very healthy until I was 70, 75, maybe before I started deteriorating. But that changed quickly one day. I was working by myself. I was doing a bunch of drywall repairs in a high rise retirement building. Ironic. And my knee started bothering me as the day went on. It started hurting worse. By the time I got home, I couldn't walk. I couldn't stand on it. I had to drive home with my left foot on the gas and brake with my right leg extended because I couldn't. I couldn't stand on it. My wife took me to the emergency room. And that's a story for itself, but it literally changed my life drastically in one day. The other lie we're told is that you need $1,000,000 to retire. Well, yeah, I guess if you're going to take luxury vacations, drive new cars all the time, and go out to eat every night, I guess you probably would need $1,000,000, but that's not my lifestyle. I have a very simple and frugal and somewhat minimalistic lifestyle, so I don't need $1,000,000. It's a good thing because only about 2.5% of Americans have $1,000,000. That's a pretty small number, and maybe some of you fall in there, but I know this one doesn't. Third lie we have: oh, you're retired, take it easy, rest. Well, how much rest do you need when you're really not doing anything? That was my big problem. I went from being active to doing nothing over a period of about 6 months, and it like to kill me mentally. I was just not prepared for that. And I'm not one of these. I didn't work in a factory or a big office where everybody gets together once, all the retirees get together and moan and groan about their aches and pains over coffee at Frisch's or McDonald's or somewhere. I'm not one of those people. Uh, but some do it, and that's good. At least it gets them out of the house. Another lie that we were told, I don't think we were told this as much as we believed it. At some point, you're going to be too old to exercise. And I totally rebunked that. I'm 71. I'm in the gym hitting it hard. 2 days a week with weights, hard. A 50-year-old man in pretty decent shape would have a hard time keeping up with me. Now, I'm not bragging because it took me a long time to get there. There's one guy in the gym that I call him Coach. I don't know his name, but I call him Coach because everybody seems to know him, and he seems to know everybody. He's very nondescript, just a little guy, but everybody knows him. He's either a coach or a teacher, or a lot of 40-somethings. They know who he is, and he's probably 75 if he's a day. He's there all the time, and he's just not going through the motions. He is hitting it, not killing it like he did 20 years ago, but he's hitting it pretty hard. I'd have a hard time keeping up with him. So. But the inspiring thing for me about exercise when you get older is there's a lot of old people in gyms these days. They realize that guess what? I'm old, I'm out of shape, I need to get back in shape. Now, a lot of you who are retired, there's several different programs. You can go to a gym for free. I know a lot of the YMCA's do it. Silver Sneakers, there's another program, I forget what the name of it is, but you can go for free. So it doesn't cost me anything to go to the gym. But they inspire me. They really do. You see this. I was sitting on a recumbent the other day doing some pretty hard intervals on a recumbent. And this little old lady, I mean, she was probably 10, 15 years older than I am. She sat down next to me and she said, "Can you show me how to work this?" And I have real long arms. I'm 6'7". I just reached over there. I said, "What do you want to do?" And she told me, and I set it up for her. Here she is, probably 85 years old. She's exercising. Is that cool or what? She'll probably live to be 100. So you're never too old to exercise unless you got some really debilitating injury or you're in a wheelchair or something like that. We're always told that Social Security is not enough to retire, and it was not designed that way. And that's true. It was made to supplement. Well, I never had a pension, never had a 401k. I did have some self-employed IRAs, which I eventually sold off when I turned a certain age so I could pay off all my debt, which I did. I was glad I saved all that money. So Social Security is the main source of my income. And I can live not well. I'm not going out to eat every night. I'm not driving a new car. I'm not taking exotic vacations. It's hard, but you can do it. It is very doable depending on your own situation. We're also told, oh, you can downsize and get a smaller house and less money and less utilities and blah, blah, blah. I remember working for a couple. They're about 10 years older than me, so I was probably 55. He was like 65 or 70. And I saw him one day while I was working on his house. He was talking about downsizing. He said, Larry, I don't need this big house. He said, but if I downsize, it would cost me money. I'd have to pay tax on this. I'd have to do that. And I had the moving expenses and all the phone. He said, it would cost us more. So we just stayed. And that's what my wife and I decided to do. If you want to talk about downsizing in the place that you're at right now, I have a video on that a couple of videos ago, downsizing in place. Very informative, very simple, but it works. We're also told, and we get bombarded on television with financial advisors. Financial advisors are good, I guess, but I went to one at one point. I have a CPA, and he does my taxes every year, and that's all good. But I wanted a non-biased, third-party opinion on what I should do in this one situation. And I did all my homework going in, so I knew what the answer was going to be, but I wanted to hear it from him. And he gave me some information, and he was totally, totally wrong. And I walked out of there really upset. He only charged me like $50 for half an hour, but he was wrong. He would have cost me about $6,000 or $7,000 more in taxes if I had listened to him and followed his advice. I have a good friend that's a financial advisor, and I told her one day in front of a bunch of people, we were out somewhere. I said, nobody, including you, is going to take better care of my money than me, because you don't have an interest in it that I do. And she kind of agreed, but a lot of people are ignorant, and I'm ignorant on a lot of things, but with the information we have today at our fingertips, it's all right there. You can learn so much in such a short period of time. Another lie we're told, if you've been married a while or newlywed, but we've always been told as we grow old, we'll stay together. The fastest growing segment of our population that is divorcing is between 60 and 70 years old. And my friends, that is just sad. That is just sad. My wife and I are very tight. We've been married 52 years, and I don't understand that. I really don't understand that. Now, we have planned for life without one or the other, what we would do in this situation or that situation. But that's just good planning. That's just common sense. And I want her to know, and I want to know. And this last one kind of took me by surprise. That's that my kids and grandkids will always be there. Well, things change. I have 3 sons, 2 grandkids we only see 2 or 3 times a year just because of circumstances. 5 of them we never see, and that's a whole nother story, which we'll never get into. But 3 of them we're really close with. And every couple of weeks we get together for dinner, spend 3 or 4 hours together, and it was so good. We'd go to their concerts. We go to ball games. We go to different stuff, and was always around them, and that's good. But in a period of about 6 months, everything changed with them. The oldest one got her license. Then she got a part-time job. And then the 15-year-old got a part-time job, and she's in band, and she's in these plays, and concerts and band camp and blah, blah, just 10,000 things. And we're having a very hard time now just getting together. Anyway, I just want to touch base. If you got anything out of this, hit the like button, subscribe to it. These are all common sense things, and some things we just don't think about. But until we meet again, I'm going to continue to press on towards that goal.